We're called to herald the word of God in whatever way our talents do. You guys are heralding the word of God with your podcast. And you're doing it in a great way because it allows for people to ask questions, people to dissent and go, I don't know if I agree with that.
Sure.
Let's talk through that. Tell me why.
Yeah.
Let's get to the bottom of it. And we should all be doing that. We should all ask questions.
Absolutely.
I mean, anybody that's read the Bible and goes, oh, I have no questions at all, I believe everything. Not being really honest, because there's some of you go, I don't get that. I don't understand. Why would that happen? But that's just the start of the question. Then you go, I don't know. Let me try to figure it out. Let me read some other things. Let me see what somebody else, let me get a different perspective from another theologian, somebody that I respect or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Let me look at a commentary.
Yeah.
And just kind of get different perspectives to understand, and then some things you're like, well, I don't understand that, but I know it makes sense in the scheme of things, so I'm just going to move on.
Right.
And I mean, we can't know every single thing there is to know.
Yeah. Sorry, I want to interrupt you.
No.
Can I add a tidbit in? Add a little something?
Please.
So on that subject, you talked earlier about part of being a disciple is maturing, is growing, which that means learning.
Yeah.
And to your point, diving into the word, because there should be questions. I should be like, that seems to contradict. Let's figure out why.
Yes.
Or I don't really understand that. Because there is a lot that is going to be a little complicated, hard to understand. Yeah. Not only was what we call the Bible, these group of writings, they were written in different languages, translated into English. There's going to be some things that are a little off that we have to figure out. There's also phrases they used back then that we don't use today, so we have to figure out what those mean, things like that. But you can, even though it's difficult, true discipleship is putting in the work anyways. And I say it to say it is important, even if you don't understand and you have questions, to put in the work and effort. So something that I like to remind people of, because someone told me this a long time ago, is that at the end of the day, our smartest human on this planet has an IQ in the 200s, okay? God is an infinite IQ being. I'm not saying we shouldn't research, we shouldn't try to understand. I think we're actually called to do that. But there are going to be times where there's some things that we can't fully comprehend because we are finite creatures created by God, and he is this infinite being. There's going to be some things that we can't truly fathom or make sense of. And that's okay. There's going to be some things that's like, I'm wrestling with that. And I think I try to tell people that's okay. If there's something that you're like, oh, I just can't get my head around this. I don't know if we're ever going to have 100% understanding of everything. But I hear some people use that as an excuse. And they say, that's why I try not to get too deep in the weeds because I can't understand it anyways, and I'll just trust God. I'm like, I think that's lazy Christianity.